Welcome to Moving Panels One Shot. This is a mini episode where my guest and I will discuss a single topic that we felt deserved just to have its own short little conversation. Joining me today is Blake Fowler.
Hey man, I'm happy to be here to discuss what I feel may be the most important conversation in comic book movies today.
Yeah, so Blake is a huge Batman fan. I'm a Superman fan, but Blake is a huge Batman fan. And so I thought that for this little one shot, it would be good for he and I to debate and discuss who is the best Batman.
The final say-so is happening right here today.
Yeah. So my wife is a big fan of a podcast called We Got This. I'm sure they've done this before. They've done so many. They've probably done Best Batman. We will see if we match. If not, I'm sorry We Got This podcast, but Moving Panels has the final decision.
Absolutely. End all be all here.
All right, so we'll first walk through all of the different Batmans, kind of lay out the play field. Who are we talking about? Who are we eliminating immediately? I do want to point out that at the time of this recording, Robert Pattinson has been cast as the next Batman. However, the movie has not come out yet, so he will not be discussed. We are not discussing Robert Pattinson.
That's fair.
I'm going to be optimistic that he will be a decent Batman. We will just have to wait and see.
You are a better person than I am, so yeah, we'll leave it at that.
All right, so let's go through really quick and talk about the different actors who have brought to life the Caped Crusader. So it all started in 1943 in the movie serials. Actor Lewis Wilson. He was then followed in 1949 with the Batman and Robin movie serials with Robert Laramy. Adam West, of course, made it more famous in the 60s, from 66 to 68, in the TV Batman as well as a movie along the way. We didn't get a Batman again until almost the 90s. 1989, Michael Keaton became Batman for two movies, 89 and 92. He was then replaced by Val Kilmer in 95 with the bat nipples. George Clooney then gave us an American Express ad in 1997 when he played Batman in Batman and Robin. We then got a little break, almost a decade-long break, before Christian Bale.
Too long a break.
Yeah. Christian Bale gave us his version of Batman for the Dark Knight trilogy between 2005 and 2012. And most recently, we have Ben Affleck, or Batfleck, as he was called, who first donned the cape and cowl in 2016's Batman v Superman, and hung it up after Justice League, although there are reports... reports that he might return. So we'll have to wait and see. So there are all of our live-action Batman. But, Blake, I do want to ask you a question as we move forward. Do we want to add in voice actors? So we've got some great voice actors. We can throw in Lego Batman to begin with.
I do love Will Arnett as Lego Batman. As far as like pure, just unbridled joy, Will Arnett does a fantastic Batman.
Yes, but it is a comedic Batman.
Yes, it is. You've got Kevin Conroy. So,
the GOAT. So
the absolute GOAT.
In my personal opinion, if we were to add voice actors into this argument, it's over right now. If we throw in voice actors, I'm not defending anyone except for Kevin Conroy.
I worship at the church that is Kevin Conroy's Batman. Absolutely. Okay, so when you think of Batman, he's got to be Batman in the suit. And unfortunately, I just don't see Kevin Conroy in the bat suit. And that's why I think you just got to, I think we're going to have to table voice actors for this particular debate.
All right, so we're taking out voice actors, although we both agree that if that was the case, Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Right, and
over.
just for argument's sake, like when you ask somebody, all right, here's a picture of Batman, and you show them that picture, whose voice pops in your head as coming out of that picture?
Definitely.
Kevin
Conroy.
Again, right?
It would be over. Now, you did mention about wearing the costume, which brings me to the fact. Speaking of Kevin Conroy, in fact, just this past year did play Bruce Wayne in CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths. So that brings me to the conversation: do we include actors who have only played Bruce Wayne? Now, if people are questioning how have you played Bruce Wayne and not Batman, well, again, Kevin Conroy played Bruce Wayne. He never donned the Batman costume.
Implied that he was Batman also,
yes.
right? Yeah.
We had Gotham, the Fox television show from 2014 to 2019, in which David, I'm going to butcher his last name, Mazouz, where he played the young Bruce Wayne. Now, I will argue he does wear a costume in the final episode.
Ugh, the worst live action Batman costume in history of this universe or any other multiverse.
So even when you consider bat nipples, you will still say that this is a worse costume?
I will take a freezing cold Batman over whatever the monstrosity was in the last episode of Gotham every day and twice on Sunday.
All right, so Gotham Bruce Wayne / Batman, we're throwing him out.
Get him out of here.
Okay.
He's gone.
All right, so the other option then, if we're talking about Bruce Wayne actors, is Ian, I believe is how you would pronounce his first name, Ian Glenn, who played Bruce Wayne in the DC Universe HBO Max show, whatever you want to put it there, Titans. There is a Batman. I'm not sure if he was the one in the costume.
You just see the silhouette, right? Yeah, I mean,
you actually in season 2, you actually see Batman.
See, I haven't made it season 2 yet, so
yeah.
you're spoiler alerting me.
Yeah, but I don't believe he speaks.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. So are we saying we're only going to discuss men who have actually donned the cape and cowl?
Let's do that. Yeah, I don't want to discuss anybody who it's implied that they are Batman. Also, I want to see them as Batman. I want to hear them as Batman. That's what we need to go with.
All right. So let's go through the list again. Let's go through our top 3. So I'll let you give your top 3. I'll give my top 3.
Okay. Since I kind of want to, I don't want to, put anything on you or give you any ideas. So I'm going to give you my top 3 at first in no particular order. All right. So in no particular order, Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, and Michael Keaton are my top 3 in no particular order. I'm curious as to your top 3.
All right. You have a very similar top 3. I am going to change one out. Okay. I am going to go Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and Adam West.
Ooh, okay. All right. So, having switched that one out, let me give you this first. So, Lewis Wilson, Robert Lowry. I'm not even a twinkle in my grandparents' eye when they're Batman. So, yes, I have seen the serials, but they're just not Batman to me.
Well, but it was they were playing Batman. That was the Batman at the time from the comics.
Fair.
Where he was more the crime-fighting vigilante. He hadn't quite reached the real superhero status at that point. Yeah. I believe Lewis Wilson's Batman, even like the comics, I think he even carried a gun.
Yes.
Yeah, and they drove around in like the classic like gangster car.
Yeah, just like a sedan, right?
Yeah. So, but no, give them all props for being the originals and all, but yeah, I'm with you. They're not what people think of when you think of Batman.
Right. And as far as Kilmer and Clooney go, they played Batman for one film each. Not enough time, I don't think, to really ingrain or ingratiate yourself to the masses as being Batman, Bruce Wayne. And especially, like you said, when Clooney whips out the American Express and I feel like I'm watching a commercial, yeah, it lost me there.
Yeah. So I think Kilmer and Clooney, I think they suffer from also just being in bad movies. You know, I will say Batman Forever is a little bit better than Batman and Robin, but it still had its problems. But honestly, you know what? If you were to ask me, and this is even going back to putting Lewis Wilson and Robert Lowry back in the picture, Val Kilmer is probably my least favorite Batman.
Okay, so here's where I have to differentiate a little bit. Kilmer's certainly my least favorite Bruce Wayne. Clooney's probably my least favorite Batman.
Okay.
And I got to differentiate the two there because I could buy Kilmer as Batman, even though he didn't have the best range, so to speak, as far as playing Batman. But Clooney, I don't know, man. It's just too goofy for me as Batman.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but I could probably side with that because I do think that if we were to separate Batman versus Bruce Wayne, I actually do think maybe Kilmer's Batman is a little bit better than Clooney's. The Bruce Wayne was not. Clooney was a better Bruce Wayne.
Yes, agreed. Won't argue that.
But I think what you know, to your point, Kilmer's stoic nature and his emotionalist, it works for Batman. Mm-hmm. And so no, you probably swayed me a little bit there to say Clooney's probably a worse Batman than Kilmer, even though he is a better Bruce Wayne than Kilmer.
So having said that, to look at the one you subbed out, so coming in the 4 spot on my list is Adam West. And the reason being, I grew up reading Batman comics and watching Batman the Animated Series, where Batman was this dark, brooding figure. Even Bruce Wayne was brooding all the time. He was worried about his love life or about those he cared about. He was just always upset about something. And that's the Batman I cling to this day. And so looking at Adam West, it's just not it for me. It's enjoyable. I like the show, but he's not my top 3.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the nostalgia. It's that he is the Batman that people grew up with. I mean, again, you're talking about when you think of Batman. Well, when I think of Batman, in the back of my head, I'm going, Batman. I mean, you're talking about Batman the Animated Series. Well, yeah, Batman the Animated Series was based off of the Burton movies and took the look of the Burton movies. But then, a few years later, they come out with The Brave and the Bold, which goes right back to the campiness that the West Batman was. They even did a Batman and Robin animated movie with DC, and they brought back Adam West and Burt Ward to voice Batman and Robin.
That they did. So again, his run of Batman, I mean, you can say it spans decades because he has those appearances throughout, and maybe the most long running Batman out of our list here. But again, for me, just doesn't hit it. But where my list starts, and we'll see here. So for me, at number 3 is Michael Keaton. He's the first Batman I remember seeing on screen in '92. I was 5, and I just vaguely remember seeing that in theaters. But growing up and watching as I got older, when he's Batman, he's brooding, and I like that. The scene of Tim Burton's universe is dark, and I think he fits into that.
Yeah. No, Keaton pulled off a great Batman. I even think he pulled off a great Bruce Wayne. He was smug without being condescending when he spoke to people, which was something I think Adam West did well too as Bruce Wayne.
So who does your number 3 fall? Are we in agreement on number 3, Laramy?
No, we're not. I don't think. Oh. I honestly would. I don't know. I think Keaton's higher up than that. I lean higher for Keaton. So let's go again to our discrepancy. So the only 2 we're in agreement on is Keaton and Bale.
Okay.
Those are the only 2 we're in agreement on. So you're putting Keaton at 3.
I'm putting Keaton at 3.
Yeah, that's the only one we agree with, which means you're putting Affleck above Keaton.
I am.
And see,
it's gonna upset a lot of people.
See, here's my problem. Here's my problem with Affleck. Affleck, I think I didn't dislike his Batman. Mm-hmm. I do go into that separation, though. I do think he played a better Bruce Wayne than he did a Batman.
Okay.
But my problem was the complete change of character that he made between his 2 movies. Okay. So Batman
v him for that.
Well, but you can. So Batman v Superman.
Okay.
You've got this dark, angry, grumpy Batman. When we get to Justice League, all of a sudden Batman is second in comic relief next to Aquaman. I mean, he's pulling off one-liners. He's, making these little jokes. And I didn't like the change. I get your argument. You're going from Snyder to Snyder Whedon.
That's a whole other
that is a whole other conversation about the Snyder Whedon Justice League. But it just took me out of it. It really did.
I can understand that, and not to cut you off, but I'm going to give you 2 reasons why here. One, the plot line is such that Batman, after realizing that he needs this hope after Superman's death, quote unquote, he's supposed to like uplift the world and hope the world in place of Superman. He takes a turn as a character to try and do that. And also, you go from Zack Snyder to Joss Whedon in control of scripting and probably writing and directing, obviously, a lot of this. And so I can't fault Affleck for that. And I think his Batman in Batman vs. Superman was so good that it compensates a little bit for Justice League, for me.
Yeah. Well, we'll disagree on that, but let's focus in on the fact that we did have two to share. So instead of ranking all out, let's just go to our best Batman. We are down to Keaton versus Bale. We are down to the original Dark Knight from Burton to the actual Dark Knight from the Dark Knight trilogy. We're down to Burton's version and Vision to Christopher Nolan's version and Vision. We've got Keaton, who gave him life, but I honestly think kept him realistic in a otherwise unrealistic world. Whereas Bale's Batman was supposed to be in a realistic world, and he honestly was probably the most unrealistic part of it.
Okay, strong words. I'll tell you, coming from somebody who is fan of a guy who flies through the sky. But either way, Bale's. So here's my thing. Bale's number one for me. He's tops for a lot of reasons, but because I think he plays the best Batman Bruce Wayne combo. Maybe not the best Batman, maybe not the best Bruce Wayne, but as far as meshing the two together, he does the best job for me. He's some of Keaton's remarks as Bruce Wayne in Batman and Batman Returns get a little goofy for me. Bruce Wayne gets a little silly, not one-liner silly, but just like goofy silly. Bale's Bruce Wayne stays pretty much in that stoic, just brooding tone that I love. And again, it's all personal preference. I get that.
He goes so brooding tone. The man needs a cough drop by the third movie. His voice as Batman gets worse and harder. Look, don't get me wrong. In Batman Begins, when he drops down and he says, "I'm Batman," and he does it in that groggly voice, I loved it. It was great. But then, just by the next movie, The Dark Knight, when it's even more, I can't understand him. He's like, "Oh, do you want to?" I have no idea what he's saying. And then the third movie, you've got his Batman against the muffled Bane, and it's just like, this is a movie. I need subtitles to watch this movie.
You're not going to find an argument for me. Somebody should have stopped Christian Bale as the gravel. It's like he swallowed a bag of rocks. So I'm not going to fault you there. But the tech he uses, how he portrays himself as Batman and Bruce Wayne together, and just, it's a look, Laramy. The scene where he's running in Batman Begins, where he's running through the apartment tenants and the bats are all around him, that's the penultimate Batman shot for me.
Yeah, but you're arguing a scene where we're trying to argue who performs the character better.
And in that one scene, he is Batman.
That was probably even a stunt double. That probably wasn't even Christian Bale.
Ouch. Now you're just hurting my feelings. Saying that Christian Bale clearly does all his own stunts, okay? He's the Tom Cruise of Batman.
You mean he's the shortest Batman? Is that what you're...
Ouch. No, I think that was Keaton, right?
Oh, okay.
That's your dude.
All right.
Let's hear your number one.
So, I think we're back and forth. I honestly put Keaton above Bale personally, and I honestly think this also is coming down to the age difference between you and I, because Keaton was my Batman. Keaton was my Batman. I was, right preteen age when Keaton was Batman. Mm-hmm. I was already graduated from college when Bale took on the role. Okay. So, I think you know what? You are the Batman expert. I will say my biggest qualm to Bale's Batman is the voice.
So if I could wave a magic wand, Laramy, and take away the voice, and he keeps the voice they had in Batman Begins, would you be willing to consider a swap of Keaton and Bale?
Yeah, if you take out the voice, I will gladly say that Bale is a better Batman.
Okay, that's all I'm asking for.
Now that does not stop the fact that the Entertainment News saying that Keaton may return to play an older Batman. Bruce
Fingers
Wayne.
crossed. Fingers crossed, man.
I'll give it to you. So I'll concede. And we will call it Moving Panel's official decision is that Christian Bale is the better Batman.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I would just like to thank all those who supported me, even when you didn't believe in me, Laramy. And I'm glad to bring you over to the correct side of who is the best Batman.
Well, that's still, I think, questionable, but this is supposed to be a mini episode. So, for the sake of it, I am conceding, and we will give it to Bale.
Yes, we'll talk off camera about this later.
All right, so there you have it. That's something for you to consider. Please leave us a positive review, and you can email us at movingpanels@gmail.com if you'd like to suggest a topic for one of these one-shots. And I want to thank Blake for joining me as we have debated and discussed and ultimately decided that Christian Bale is the best Batman.
Awesome. Thanks again, Laramy.
Oh, thank you. For Moving Panels, I'm Laramy Wells, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.